Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading with me. We're going to see what messages want to come out for you, what's going to happen, or what Spirit really wants you to know during the week ahead, my angels. So let's just dive straight in. Let's see, what is the animal spirit that wants to come out and work with Sagittarius, octopus? And this is all about having better boundaries, by the way. So the octopus could be you. And I feel like there's a phrase that always comes to mind with too many. What's the phrase? Let me quickly look at it. I don't want to say it just in case it's wrong. Okay. What I'm hearing is too many fingers in the pie. And you can see why that sounded a bit weird. So I wanted to just clarify what I was hearing. And it means someone involved in too many activities. Yeah, that's it. So usually it's kind of a negative connotation. And it could also be someone else who wants a share of everything. So it could be, again, that this is just in general, again, about not spreading yourself too thin if it's related to you, having better boundaries, not needing to meddle or to dabble into all these different things to kind of like come into yourself a little bit better here, especially if we might be crossing boundaries to others. Kind of sometimes be about gossip and stuff like that, so let's pull away from that if that's you, but this could of course be people around you as well. The octopus really is kind of saying that maybe you need to ground your ideas. This could be a busy week as well for you if you think about it, with the octopus kind of being that you might be multitasking. But Sagittarius, that can sometimes be, you guys are amazing by the way, but sometimes it can be a big blockage for your growth, is that you don't have a clear focus and that your energy is going in all these different things, and there's just not like, if you really want growth, success, I would just say as an advice for someone this week, focus on one thing and just double down on that. Okay, you can come to the other things later when that stabilizes. But if you really want growth, because I'm just seeing like a bar chart, and I'm just feeling like, okay, when you do this, this goes up a little bit, and then you do something else and that kind of, you lose skills in that because you've not done it for a while. If it just feels a little bit like nothing's really growing because you're doing too many things. So I just feel a little bit like focusing on one and being very, you got 8 arms here with the octopus, so you can really zone in on that one thing and then go to the others as well. I just feel like it's a good card for multitasking, but I feel like doing it in one specific area will really help you see growth. Anyway, let's dive in. I wanted to pull a card out to go along with this. But let's see, why is the octopus here for Sagittarius? The 9 of Swords. It kind of feels like procrastination to me. And also, if someone's up in your business, just tell them to get out. I don't know why I feel like these crows kind of feel like all these things trying to come into your life or something like that. Like all the legs of the octopus. So again, I feel like this is a big, strong time to set some boundaries with people, because I think that there's this, you're running away from people or something like that. I feel like you don't want to address something. 9 of Swords anyway is about there being a lot of fears going on here, and that you're up in your head about something. What is the cause of these fears? Knight of Cups. Sometimes that is procrastination, because like you don't want to fully commit to something, so you keep in that fun planning, procrastinating energy, because it's really your way of running away from full-on commitment. Knight of Cups and 8 of Wands is about, jumping over that river of anxiety. That's what I call it. That those weird, uncomfortable feelings and emotions when we first do something scary, but we know it's going to be good for us. And the 8 of Wands says that this is the right direction for you. But yeah, you guys need to meditate or something, because I feel like in your mind, so much is going on. Like you have a really hard time grounding. So this is a really good week to really ground yourself. The octopus feels like the devil card for me all of a sudden in your reading. You have milk and honey. Love that. This is a perfect week for healing. So the devil represents fear. Sorry. And it feels like there's this little voice in your head that's like stirring things up in your mind. And that's what you're running away from. So similar to what I was saying, but with the imagery. But this is you running away from your fears, because that octopus is making it very hard. devil energy. Okay. Milk and honey, like I said, this is a time of healing. So I love that for you. Really important time to focus on that. You're in a good space right now. I know that maybe you don't feel like it because you do have fears, but the milk and honey card is really kind of this energy that there's a sun shining at this moment of time in your life. And maybe sometimes this means that you've reached a goal in your life, or you're in a part of your life that you want to wish for, whatever's around you. I would really focus on gratitude, but milk and honey again is about soothing yourself. The thinking man could be a friend, a lover, or someone coming into your world who's going to give you some clarity. Of course, if you relate to be the thinking man, this could be you getting clear. But some of you, this will be advice from a friend. Look at this anxiety coming up here. That makes sense. Some of you are the message behind this anxiety card is that she's worried about this lightning striking her and her building and what's going to happen and what she's going to do, and oh no, it's going to ruin her life, when it might not even ever do that. It's just passing by. So it's almost like you could really just be fearing things that might not even ever happen, and that really is why the Nine of Swords is here. Okay, let's see what else. So the thinking man is again about needing clarity. So maybe you need to speak to someone who's able to see your situation without judgment and to be more clear. This says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So you need to also remove judgment from your life, and just maybe not comparing yourself to others, right? As well. That could be a big thing. You're trying to see what everyone else is doing, put your fingers in everyone's pie, see what's going on. But it's like, you need to focus on yourself. With this card, it just doesn't have to be for everyone, that message, but judgment here says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, and that is the same with you. You also have your own unique challenges and path, and it might look different to everyone else, so don't go comparing, okay? And don't go judging. Passion. All right, so Spirit wants you to bring more passion into this week. I'm going to get you one more. This card and trickery. And trickery coming up. So I'm going to pull a card out for each. Passion does say it's time to get creative, and it's time to stop worrying about what people think about it, because some people might judge, some people might gossip, some people might want to get in your business, see what you're doing, but I really want you to focus on what makes you happy. Why is passion here? Yeah, that's coming up with milk and honey. This is going to bring more balance into your life. Some of you might be signing contracts or doing, work, like actual career of things that bring you passion. Okay, so be ready to sign some contracts there if you actually delve in and make the decision to dive into that. Okay, it's a good partnership coming up here. And the next thing I want to say is trickery. Why is trickery here for Sagittarius? The 10 of Wands. So that's the devil energy. Thank you very much. This is your subconscious fears. So whatever you're fearing right now, I want you to reflect inwards and see how this might be projection. Because the 10 of Wands is, again, this is something that you're holding on to heavy. And it's High Priestess. What? The High Priestess represents the fact that this is inner conditioning that's, been taught to you in your life. So this is a time to gain your freedom back with the Sun. 9 of Wands, wounded warrior. So again, you've been through a lot, and this is why you're worried about worst case scenario, and this is where you get stuck thinking about worst case scenario. So I think you're stuck in a little bit of a negative bubble up in your head. So this is time to kind of, again, heal that with the milk and honey. So I'm just going to look at milk and honey. Yeah, so 4 of Wands. It's time to celebrate life. With how it is right now, not with how we want it to be, and I'm so far away from my dreams and goals. 4 of Wands is celebrating the milestones that you've already made in life. Maybe you never even knew that you would come this far in life, right? Just in general. So that's something to celebrate. The fact that you're still here. Maybe you've got a few people around you who you love. That's such a blessing. Maybe you have a roof over your head. That's a blessing, right? It just feels a little bit like focusing on the wins that maybe you have, reached some milestones in a business. I don't know what your life is, but it just feels a little bit like bathing in what you have already and really fully appreciating it is so important. Okay, with milk and honey being here. And it's a good time to connect with people. And the 8 of Pentacles. And to do that inner work. I feel like I almost feel like self-care feels like a chore for you, but you need to do it. I really feel like milk and honey is self-care. And the 8 of Pentacles, the more that you do this, you're going to see some results in this area of your life. might feel like stupid. It might feel stupid to do, but I feel like it's important. Okay, let's dive into your actual reading. What's the overall energy of this month, this week for Sagittarius? The Fool. So this week marks the beginning of a new journey for you. Shall we dive in and see why? Why is the Fool card here as the energy of this week? Ace of Wands. So this could be, again, a new time to start some passions, to get some ideas, to take action on your ideas, and to get out of your feelings and emotions. Okay, because the Queen of Cups being here is an amazing thing. You guys are very sentimental, very emotional, very intuitive, all that good stuff. That's great. You have big heart. You have big heart. You care a lot about things, but the problem is you care a lot also about the things that go wrong, and that's normal. But it almost, in a sense, that it kind of consumes your energy and it becomes what you focus on. Okay, so the Five of Cups is saying to change your perspective. Instead of focusing on what you don't have yet, what's not around yet, who you're not anymore, whatever it is that's happened in your life that's, unfortunate, the Five of Cups is wanting you to spin the narrative a little bit here and to focus on what you do have, like we said, with gratitude, but also to start a new energy of optimism. Okay. What is the energy of Sagittarius? How are you guys showing up this week? Beautiful energy. Queen of Wands, strong, confident, aware with the Hermit. That is a card about really going within. Okay, really reflecting, learning through wisdom, introspection. Why is the Hermit here for the energy of Sagittarius this week? The Wheel of Fortune. So this is about where change is being created. In order to understand your fears, you have to sit with them. Or in order to, overcome a fear, you just have to sit with them. You have to find out where they're coming from. Where did this start? Why are you afraid of this? Why are you afraid of success, for example? Like what is the inner belief that you've got going on there? Because the Wheel of Fortune is spinning, as you can see. But it's coming with, and actually look at that little wheel here. Interesting. So through awareness, through inner reflection, you are going to start to see your fate changing, and also your luck. So if you felt like you've been having bad luck lately, this is where luck's changing. But I wonder if it's been like a self-fulfilling, prophecy, where because you run away from your fears, you end up stuck in cycles, and you're like, I knew I'd never get out this, situation or whatever. Why is the Queen of Wands here for Sagittarius this week? Fighter spirit. Love that for you. Queen of Wands. Become more confident in yourself and your ability to prevail. Because this feels like when you really keep pushing and keep fighting for what it is that you want, you're going to have it. One more for the Queen of Wands. And Ten of Swords. Interesting. And a Three of Pentacles. So that feels like a little bit of the Ten of Swords is not, don't be worried about it. Ten of Swords feels a little bit like letting something go. It of course represents an ending, which we see with the Fool card being here, but because it's jumping on top of the Three of Pentacles, I think what you're ending is this octopus energy, the devil energy. So you're ending a part of yourself so that you can transform. Okay, which is important, by the way. Sometimes in order to be who we want to be, we have to let go of who we are. That's the really tough thing to do in life, by the way. And the Three of Pentacles is about rebuilding. And the fact that it's jumping on top of the octopus and the Nine of Swords, it's about really rebuilding something. Maybe going back to the foundation, going back to our beliefs, going back to what's holding us up, to get rid of those fears. So inner work for sure. Ten of Swords. And some of you, interesting. That's your card, Sagittarius. Interesting. So, Ten of Swords Emperor reverse can sometimes be, the devil can be about trying to control situations, being overly controlling. And sometimes fear can control us, right? So that can make some sense here. The Queen of Swords is about seeking clarity, setting boundaries. She is in control, but she's not in control like the Emperor can be. I think she's about clarity here for you, and Temperance is about healing. So with the Ten of Swords, it could be like letting a part of yourself go that's been controlling some things. and really facing this temperance energy, which is you, everything in moderation. Why is the Emperor reversed? Seven of Swords. So this could be, a person that's coming to an end here that was sneaky and deceptive. The Emperor usually is like a father figure, or again, someone you may have children with, just for some. So some of you guys might be healing maybe from that. Maybe that's where you've, lost yourself a little bit here, or questioned yourself, or ever since then, you've always been running away or procrastinating, never really fully committing. Like maybe it made you lose your confidence in yourself, for example. So temperance is calling for you to get clear on how this might be impacting you so you can let it go. Temperance. Yeah, 10 of Wands. So it's about releasing something. And the Queen of Swords. Let me just see that quickly. Oops, my whole deck's falling. The Magician. So this is you knowing what it is that you want. Okay. In a way, a little bit of that forgiveness there, but it doesn't have to be like a forgiveness. It really is just about you finding peace with maybe feeling controlled in your life. I wonder if you've just had really toxic people around you and you've forgotten that you've got freedom now, or maybe this is something you're still dealing with. But overall, remember, the Queen of Wands, the Hermit, is your energy. This is just about deep reflection. What is the challenge coming up for Sagittarius? King of Wands. So again, adapting. Could be a person. Challenge. Eight of Pentacles. This feels like really, this feels like grounding a plan. The King of Wands feels quite nice. Feels like you. It feels like having great ideas, being a good leader in your life, being, ambitious and stuff like that. It's a good fiery energy. Eight of Pentacles feels like doing the work is going to be the hard part. And of course, this is a card of grounding, focusing on your energy, focusing on the specific skills you want to grow and really dedicating time to it. Okay. And maybe even finances as well. This is a challenge, but it feels like it's a fine challenge. King of Swords asks for discipline and structure. The Fool asks for trusting in the universe, and the Hanged Man is about observing. So this kind of feels a little bit like surrendering to the universe and to where they want you to go, and letting that guide you whilst you have discipline in moving forward. So working with spirit for sure. So there's some hard work ahead, but not bad hard work. This is something that's going to pay off for you. And let's see what the advice is for you, Sagittarius. Judgment and the Ten of Pentacles. That's gorgeous, because judgment is about release and surrender. It is that trusting in the universe. It is about entering a new level and one of abundance. So if you were to let go of these fears, you could have such maybe a windfall of finances, maybe a windfall of income, maybe abundance just coming through in general, right? The Ten of Pentacles is financial security, happy home, happy family. Everyone's feeling supported and everyone's loyal and all that good stuff. And it's also just good for business, right? Making a lot of money, having that success, selling a company, for big, whatever your dreams or goals is. Judgment is almost like your advice is to surrender to that. Surrender to the possibility of that happening and it being a beautiful journey instead of it being whatever this is. The octopus feels taunting. So really addressing your fears is important, but your advice this week is to surrender to abundance. Judgment. Interesting. Seven of Swords. Ten of Pentacles reverse. Interesting. So don't run away from it is what I'm seeing with that. So I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, because that's coming through with Judgment. Seven of Swords. By not surrendering to this, you're just inevitably going to go to the opposite. That could be self-sabotage, where it's like you don't believe you can have it, so of course you just naturally run to lack. Or, disloyal people, because you just don't believe you can have something. So I feel like when trickery comes in, of course, I feel like you need to heal from trickery for sure, but the trickery feels like that devil energy, and the fact that it's making you run away from good things. So for a lot of you, remember you have success here as well. You just need to surrender to success. And what if it all happened and it all went well? What is Ten of Pentacles to Sagittarius? It could again be finances, could be just stability in your life, right? Happy home, happy relationship, everyone's happy, everyone's grateful. Page of Pentacles, coming up with the Hermit here. It starts within you. This success, external success, and happiness in family, happiness in home, happiness in your finances, happiness in your bank account, this all starts within you. And learning a bit about what's blocking you, because I see it. I see something's blocking you here. Internally, it's almost like you can't accept it. You know, when someone tries to give you, oh, like, let me help you out with something, it's like, no. And that just kind of feels like you're not open to receiving. It's not a bad thing. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that there's been something in this reading that has stood out to you. And if it did, let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps me out over here with the algorithm and stuff like that. So I do appreciate it. And if you want, then feel free to subscribe so you can see more of these videos. And I guess I will see you guys next time.